Student friends, we are again coming online just to discuss about the dish antenna. In yesterday's offline lecture, we studied the types of antenna, and in that we have studied half-wave dipole antenna and the Yagi antenna along with their structure, their construction, their radiation pattern and the parameters associated with that. Today we are going to consider one more type of antenna, and that is known as dish antenna. Students, you are well known about the dish antenna because dish antenna is placed or it is connected to your television set in most of the cases. And the role of dish antenna is it receives the microwave radiation from the satellite or the microwave radiation from the transmitted signal, and those will get converted into radio frequency signal and it is given to your television set. So that's why we can say parabolic antenna. Dish antenna is a parabolic antenna that is used for microwave communication for point-to-point communication on the Earth's surface. It has a high directivity and high gain. So it is called as a parabolic antenna because its shape is same as that of parabola that we used in geometry. Students, friends, you have studied the parabola or concept of parabola in geometry, maybe in 10th standard or maybe in higher standards or maybe in last year. The students, those who have got mathematics as one of the subject, they might be knowing the parabola very well. And the dish antenna has a shape as like that of parabola. Just to understand the concept of parabola, we can say the parabolic antenna, it is a plane curve having the locus of a point, the point that moves along the curve in such a way that the sum of the distance from the focus and the distance from the directrix is always remains constant. That locus of a point, we can call it as it is the parabola. And the shape of parabola possesses the geometrical properties of the parabola are excellent for a reflection, are going to be act as an excellent reflector. That's why the shape of parabola is chosen so as to form the dish antenna. Student friends, this is the shape of parabola. It is represented here. So this shape of parabola, it is a locus of point, meaning it is a collection of points which are taken together, and as the point moves along the curve from one end toward the another end, the distance of that particular point from focus and the distance of focus and directrix, their sum, this distance plus this distance, their sum is always remains constant wherever the point may be located on the parabolic structure. It is this shape is going to act as a very good reflector. So that's why the parabolic shape is chosen to construct the dish antenna. How we are going to represent here? Let us suppose A, P, Q, R, D are the different points which are taken on the parabola. If you consider F as a focus of the parabola, then FA plus FB equal to FP plus PP dash, FQ plus QQ dash, FR plus R dash is always remains constant. So that is the property of parabola, means each and every radiation which are reflected from the parabolic shape it will travel the same distance and it will form the concentrated source of the radiations along the directrix. So this is called as the directrix. CD is the directrix. AF is the focal length. FB is the distance of point on the directrix up to the focal focus. Under this particular condition, AB is the axis of the parabola. AB is the same as AF plus AB is AB. It is same as FP plus PP dash, FQ plus QQ dash, FR plus RR dash. It is represented here. So that is a peculiar property of the parabola. So that's why the radiation which are reflected from the intercept of the parabola, it will travel the equal distance and forms the concentrated source of reflected radiations along the directrix. Due to this peculiar property, the shape of dish antenna is as like that of parabola. Friends, the ratio of focal length to the directrix is called as aperture of the dish antenna. The ratio of focal length means AF upon aperture directrix means CD. AF upon CD is called as aperture of dish antenna. Student friends, if you place a strong source of radiation at focal point, it will radiate the radiations in the form of the waves. Those will be allowed to be incident on the various points on the parabola, and after that they will be reflected back toward the directrix, forming a strong concentrated beam of radiations along the directrix. That means when we place the radiation source of radiation at focus facing towards it, all waves coming from this source and falling on the parabolic reflector will reflected back. These waves will travel same distance when they reach to directrix irrespective of the point of the reflection on the parabola. This means what? If you place a source of radiation at the focus, it will radiate the radiations toward the parabolic shape. They will incident on the parabola like this, and after incident they will be reflected back toward the directrix, and it will travel an equal distance wherever the point may be located along the locus of the parabolic shape, and it forms very strong concentrated beam of reflected radiations. This property plays the very vital role so as to construct the dish antenna. Dear students, all these waves which are concentrated along the directrix, they are in phase with each other. They have property that they will travel equal distance and also they are in phase with each other. That's why these reflected radiations are very strong and forms the concentrated radiation pattern, radiation along the directrix or along the axis. Thus, dish antenna produces concentrated beam of radiation. One more property of the dish antenna is that you can rotate the dish antenna. One can rotate this dish along with its axis by the principle of reciprocity. With the help of principle of reciprocity, you can rotate the dish, means you can align the dish antenna along the direction of the satellite so as to receive the radiations. Dish antenna is efficient in reception and also can act as high gain receiving directional antenna. Its gain is high and its directivity is very sharp. The main lobe of radiation pattern of dish antenna is very sharp. It is surrounded by the many minor lobes or small lobes. This parabola has the beam width given by phi 0 is equal to 2 into phi, and that's equal to 140 lambda t, where phi equal to 70 lambda upon d. Phi is the bandwidth, it is given as 70 lambda upon d, and phi 0 is the beam width, it is double that of bandwidth, 2 into phi, and that's equal to 140 lambda upon d, where phi is the bandwidth between half power points in degree, phi 0 is the beam width between the nulls, d is the as usual directivity, and lambda is the wavelength of the wave. The gain of the dish antenna, it is influenced by the aperture ratio, that is a d upon lambda, and the uniform illumination. For lossless antenna, power gain is given as AP is equal to sigma into d upon lambda bracket square in watt. The effective radiated power of antenna, it is a product of power fed to the antenna and its power gain. For effective working of antenna, the antenna should have mouth diameter equal to 10 times lambda. If the mouth diameter of dish antenna is 10 times lambda, then we can say the working of dish antenna is very effective. Friends, once we have designed this antenna by using all these aspects, then our role is we have to keep ideal source at the focus, which is the ideal feeder. That point source will radiate the radiations towards the shape of parabola or dish, and dish antenna parabolic shape will reflect those radiations. Those will be collected along the directrix. The radiation pattern of that point source is called the primary pattern, whereas the radiation pattern after illumination it will produces the secondary pattern. Meaning thereby, the ideal feeder for dish antenna consists of point source of illumination with proper pattern to achieve the desired aperture distribution, and it is placed at the focal point of the parabola. Focal point means, look at here, here that point source is placed. The radiations produced by feeder is a primary pattern, and radiation pattern after illumination is a secondary pattern. Even simple half-wave dipole can act as a feeder. Half-wave dipole we have studied in last lecture. If you replace that point source by half-wave dipole, means at F you have to place the dipole which we have studied last time. Means, so this is the situation. Look at here. This is the dipole which is placed at the feeder. So this half-wave dipole is going to act as a feeder for the radiations which are to be collected and are made to be incident on the reflected surface of the parabola. So we are speaking now about this particular feeder. Simple half-wave dipole can act as a feeder. It suffers two limitations. One is dipole radiates uniformly in a plane perpendicular to its length and radiates no energy along its axis. If dish subtends 180 degrees solid angle at its focus, most of the energy will be radiated in a space without striking to a reflector. So this is the problem with dipole antenna if it is going to act as a feeder. No doubt, it will radiate the energy in a plane perpendicular to the length of that particular dipole. It doesn't radiate the radiation along its length. And if this antenna makes a solid angle of 180 degree, almost all radiated signal will be going to be wasted. Those are not incident on the reflector. This is the first problem. And second problem is, it is poor polarization. Polarization is very poor. That is the second problem. For ideal feed, all energy after reflection will be polarized in the same direction. And in this case, the cross polarization will occur and it will reduce the gain of antenna. So this is the problem of dipole antenna, but this can going to act as the feeder for the parabolic antenna. Therefore, open-ended waveguide can act as a better feed than the dipole. So this dipole, to avoid these two particular problems, it is replaced by open-ended waveguide. Whenever more directivity is required, it is replaced by horn antenna, which is proper method. The resonant half-wave dipole and waveguide horn with rear feed and front end can be used. So this is a rear feed horn antenna. So this is a horn. Look at here. It is placed at the focus. This is a front end, front feed antenna. Both are horn which are placed at the focus, which will radiate the radiation along the surface of the parabola. But they may going to close the aperture of parabola. They may going to produce the impedance mismatching. So that's why this structure is also going to be avoided in peculiar applications. This means that all these are used as a dish antenna horns. If you look to your dish, this is available on your dish. So this is the shape of dish and this is the horn. You may locate it to your television dish also. So this forms the dish antenna. Due to mismatching of impedance, due to cross polarization, offset dish antenna, offset horn is being used. This front end horn or rear end horn have got limitations of aperture blocking and impedance mismatching. This may alter the radiation pattern. So that's why these problems are eliminated by offset feed dish antenna, in which center of feed is at the focus and horn is tipped to axis. So this is the offset feedback antenna. Some angle is given to the horn. They are allowed to be made incident and then those are collected along the directrix. This is the offset feed. Due to this, aperture will not be blocked. Impedance matching problem is also avoided. But it introduces its own cross polarization lobes which will deteriorate the system performance. This feed has no pattern deterioration due to aperture blocking nor any sort of energy interruption to produce the impedance mismatch. But it introduces its own cross polarization lobes to deteriorate the system performance. So that's why whenever radio telescopes are going to be constructed by using the dish antenna, the crossgain feed is used. Crossgain feed is optical technique in which horn is placed behind the dish and the hyperbolic refractor is placed very near to focus. The radiations coming from the horn are allowed to incident on the hyperbolic reflector. From that reflected radiations are made to incident on parabolic shape of antenna. Again they will be reflected and then those are collected along the directrix. So this is what the aspect of cross-gain feed. To avoid all these problems, means to avoid the problem of deterioration, impedance mismatching and also the blocking of the aperture, the cross-gain feed is used that uses the optical technique. This principle is used in radio telescope antenna. It reduces axial dimensions of antenna and gives the flexibility in design of the feed system. Here feed is at a vertex of parabola and sub-reflector is located between the vertex and the focus. So this is represented here. Look at here. This is the parabolic dish antenna. Behind that horn is placed. Very near to focal point of the parabola, the hyperbolic reflector is placed. This is the cross-gain antenna, especially used for radio telescopes. The radiations emitted from horn, they will be allowed to incident on hyperbolic reflector. From that they will be reflected back towards the shape of parabola, and again they will be reflected, and those are collected along the directrix. Friends, such radio telescopes are located in Narayanpur, very near to Pune. 21 such heavy diameter, large diameter with big aperture are located 1000 kilometers of area. 21 such dish antennas are located in a Y shape, and they are studying the space aspects, the space conditions in Narayangao. It is related with Ayuka with Pune University, Pune. Friends, such an antenna we can call it as it is the dish type of antenna. Today we are completing half part of the topic, and that is known as antenna. We are online because rain which is available outside, if possible, will also come offline for the today's lecture if almost conditions are made favorable. Next time we will go for the radio wave propagation, which is the remaining part of the topic number 3.